October 14th, 2007. Do you remember what you were doing that day? I bet you don't remember, but I do know what 2.7 million people were doing that day. In 2007, a reality TV show emerged onto our television screens, and little did we know how influential it would be and how it would impact us years later, even in 2024. This show is none other than Keeping Up with the Kardashians, a cultural phenomenon that not only entertained audiences, but also played a significant role in shaping beauty standards, influencing fashion trends, and redefining celebrity culture. As we reflect on the impact of this iconic show over the years, it's clear that its influence continues to resonate in a way that we perceive beauty, fame, and success in the modern era. From the bustling streets of Los Angeles to the opulent mansions of Calabasas, viewers were immersed in a world where beauty was not only skin deep, but a powerful force that demanded attention, admiration, and was impactful enough to build a whole brand off of. But what happens when you've created an empire based on something as superficial as your appearance and desirability? Well, this is what happens.
I hate even having this conversation over and over and over again because it feels like it's a waste of my breath, because I think with me it's just never going to change, but it's just been
And I won't even lie, when I saw the video of Kylie crying, I did feel bad. I was like, aw. Like, I just get so awkward when people are crying and I want to help them, so I did feel bad. But then I had to remind myself, I was like, wait, isn't this not the same girl who got cosmetic work done, lied about it, and then sold a product promising that we could look like her if we bought her product, yet the whole time she was out here getting filler? Like, it is the same girl. This is not exclusive to just Kylie Jenner. In fact, her whole family fits into this critique, and other people as well. I'm just using the Kardashians as an example because they are one of the most successful people to have been able to build a brand off of being desirable. Because if we combine all of their net worths together, I believe it's over 2 billion, I think, but don't quote me, but they have been able to build an empire based off of looks. It's insane. But the thing is that your looks only last for so long. You're not gonna look the same 20 years from now, 40 years from now, 50 years from now. You're gonna change, and that's normal, that's natural. And beauty trends, as the name suggests, it's a trend, it comes and goes. So to build your brand off of being a trend, a beauty trend, you're gonna have to keep changing because it's a trend. Trends are not meant to stay forever. They come and they go. So what happens when you can't keep up with the trends? What happens when you're no longer considered the it girl? What happens when you're no longer the beauty standard? It's complex, but let's talk about it. And let's also talk about how you can improve your productivity and focus on things that are way more important than just your appearance. I bet the web browser that you're using right now is slow, full of ads, and compromises your online security. So why use that when you can use Opera, which is a web browser that is the complete opposite of all of that? The Opera browser is comprehensive for privacy, security, and all of your online activities. There are so many unique features that makes this browser stand out, and I hate the fact that I can't go through all of them, but just know my productivity has boosted 1,000% ever since I started using Opera. This browser has a built-in AI called Aria. Shout out to Pretty Little Liars. And it has become a game changer for me and has helped me create this video that you're watching right now. Let's say you're doing research for an upcoming project and you click on an article that has 1 million words, like ain't nobody trying to read all them words. So with Opera, you can highlight some or all of the text and get a quick overview of what this article is about without having to read the whole thing. This feature right here has saved me hours because I do a lot of research for these videos, so I have to go through a lot of articles, and it's really nice to be able to highlight a couple words and to get the gist of the article without reading the whole thing. It's a good way for me to determine if the full article is worth the read. Another cool feature that I really love is lucid mode, which immediately increases the quality of the video that you're watching while using the Opera browser, including this video right now. But I mean, I record in 4K and I upload in 8K, so you're getting quality here anyways, period. But if you want to see me more clearly, then try out lucid mode, try out Opera. There are tons tons of great features that make Opera worth it compared to other browsers. So you can check out Opera by clicking the link in the description box or the pinned comment down below. So now that we know how to increase our productivity and be an amazing organized person, let's talk about what happens when you're not the beauty standard anymore. Let's get into it. Yeah. Part 1. Kylie Jenner's rise to becoming the it girl. Before we delve into the core problem, we need to understand how Kylie Jenner became the ultimate it girl and a powerhouse in pop culture and the beauty industry. As a member of the famous Kardashian Jenner family, Kylie gained early exposure to the worlds of beauty, fashion, and cosmetic surgery. She leveraged social media, particularly Instagram, to showcase her makeup looks, outfits, and lifestyle, drawing in a massive follower of fans and admirers. So let's use this section to understand how Kylie was able to build a loyal following of almost 400 million followers. Let's get into it. Yeah. Kylie Jenner is a well-known American media personality, businesswoman, and social media influencer. You've definitely heard of her, but you may not know every single detail of her life. I mean, I don't know because I don't care enough. But there are important aspects to know to really understand the root of this problem and how it became such a big problem in the first place. So Kylie was born August 10th, 1997 in Los Angeles, California, and she's the youngest daughter of Kris Jenner and Caitlyn Jenner, who is an Olympic gold medal winning decathlete. Kylie rose to fame as a member of the Kardashian Jenner family, known for their reality TV show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. When the show first aired, Kylie was only 9 years old, not even the double digits, and they were already shoving a camera down her face. That must be nice. The premise of Keeping Up with the Kardashians was simple. It was an access-all reality TV show for E! Entertainment, showing unfiltered Kardashian drama with Kim purposely taking the center stage off the back of her infamous sex tape with Ray J, who was her boyfriend at the time, and off of her friendship with Paris Hilton. So Kylie was not the focus of the show at this time, and she had no influence on beauty or anything like that. I mean, she was only like, what, 9 years old, so why would they even give her that much screen time in the first place? All she really did was fight with Kendall, yell, and just be loud, you know what I mean? But that's what kids do, so that's expected, right? It wasn't until the third season when Kylie was 11 years old, so she finally reached the double digits, when she started getting more screen time. Because she was growing up, rebelling against her dad a little bit, she started wearing makeup, and she was dressing. I don't know if I would say it's inappropriate, because I think we've seen worse, especially in 2024, we've definitely seen a lot of kids dress way worse, but her dad didn't like the way she was dressing, and her dad did not like the way that she was doing her makeup. There's a specific clip that I remember from the show, so hopefully I can find it and I'm gonna show it to you guys right now.
Appropriate. Kylie should not be dressed like that. You're dressed like a 30-year-old.
And I don't like it.
You've got to deal with your kids growing older.
No, she's 11 years old, and she shouldn't be wearing all that makeup, and she shouldn't be wearing that outfit. And that's the bottom line. It's over. It's done.
My friend Dylan likes the way I dress.
I understand an 11-year-old Kylie wanting to wear makeup and experiment with her look because, I mean, look at her sisters. Like, I really don't need to elaborate on that. When you're a kid and that's all you see, it makes sense why she wanted to start wearing makeup and just look more like her sisters. But I will say though, at 11 years old, I was not allowed to wear any makeup on my face. I couldn't even wear lip gloss, not even like a touch of lip gloss, nothing. It had to be Vaseline only or a lip balm, that was it. I couldn't even like do a little dab here. They didn't want anything touching my face. Yeah, but honestly, times are different now, and my parents were just strict, you know, Nigerian parents, you know how they be, period. So I don't think there's anything wrong with kids wearing makeup, but it just has to be kid makeup. Like if the makeup they're doing is making them look 10 years older, or the clothes that they are wearing is making them look older, then that's when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a side eye because it is important to let kids express their creativity. However, there definitely needs to be a line drawn because you looking like you're 35 years old is not really you being creative. It's you doing what you think people want from you. Does that make sense? Maybe I should reword that. It's you dressing and looking a certain way because you think that's what grown folks want to see. period. Anyways, as the show progresses and we get to see Kylie grow up, she starts to dabble more and more in makeup, fashion, and beauty, eventually changing herself to the point where some people would say that she's unrecognizable. Not only did Kylie change her appearance, but she also made it her personal brand, following in the steps of Kim Kardashian and her other sisters. Kylie's first taste of entrepreneurship was with her older sister, Kendall, when they created a teen fashion clothing line called Kendall and Kylie. What an original name. And this was a collaboration with the clothing brand PacSun in 2012 when Kylie was only 14 years old. So the Kendall and Kylie clothing line targeted a younger demographic, which consisted of mostly young girls, while Khloe, Kim, and Kourtney focused on an older demographic. So you can see they were very strategic with how they marketed themselves. Like they had fans that were in their 30s, 40s, 20s, and they also had fans that were younger because of Kendall and Kylie. So very strategic. And I feel like that's gonna be their game plan. They're gonna try to target each demographic because they're all different ages, right? So they can target the older demographic, then Kylie and Kendall right now can target like, I guess Gen Z, the 20-year-old, 30-year-olds, and even Northwest, who is Kim Kardashian's daughter. Kim is already pushing North to the spotlight, so I feel like she's gonna want North to be the it girl for like the younger generation, Gen Alpha. So yeah, I just feel like they're gonna keep the cycle going, to be honest. When I was younger, I was quite fascinated by Kylie and Kendall just because they were younger and like around my age, so like I could relate to them more compared to Kim or her other sisters. So I was just infatuated by them. I thought they were so cool, but also we need to remember that when you're young, you're very, very impressionable. Anyone who's put on your screen that seems cool, you're gonna think that they're amazing. So yeah, they definitely did a good job of targeting the younger demographic, and I don't know how well their clothing line did, but I do remember wanting those clothes when they first dropped. Their brand offered a variety of styles from casual to dressy, so it appealed to a wide spectrum of customers. And it's actually funny because the very first Kendall and Kylie piece I've ever gotten was actually last year. It's just a pair of shorts. They're pretty good quality. They're at a discount store though, so I was like, okay, period. It was a steal. I think it was like, what, $15 maybe I got it for? I think 15? I don't know. Either way, it was pretty cheap. Okay, so now let's fast forward to 2015. This was really the year that Kylie became Kylie. This is when her status as an it girl came into fruition. Well, actually, we can say that this started in 2014 because that's when the tanning started. The lips got bigger, the hips got bigger. She had an hourglass figure out of nowhere, overnight it seemed like it. And she also had that hairstyle that all the girls in my class loved. It was like when she had those dark roots and then she had the aqua ombre color vibes. She had people in the chokehold with that hairstyle and it was cute, yeah, but it was just color. They're acting like they never seen color before. But what you need to know that from 2014 to 2015, there was definitely a huge change in Kylie's appearance. And with that change, she gained it girl status. She was always in the blogs, paparazzi was obsessed with her, young girls were obsessed with her, and so many people were just amazed by her. She was literally following in Kim's footsteps, and she had a strong influence on young girls. When I was looking at photos of her through the years, I realized how much of a change she made to her appearance. Because before I knew, but that it wasn't until I went back and looked at her previous photos, and I was like, damn, like definitely there has been work done. Like the hips look different, lips look different, skin color is different, everything is different, and I never realized that until I actually went back to look. Because I feel like when people change their appearance gradually, we don't really see the differences. Like yeah, we can clock it if it's really noticeable. We're gonna clock it. But for the most part, like let's say if someone loses weight slowly or gains weight slowly, you don't really realize it until you look back at a previous photo and you're like, damn, like you actually look really different. But because you see them every day and those changes happen so subtly, we don't really clock it. At least for me, I didn't clock it until I looked back at our old photos. I know I made a video not even a while back, maybe a month ago. Anyways, I made a video and I talked about aging and I talked about Kylie Jenner because earlier this year she was called old for looking old at the Paris fashion show in January, I believe. And I did defend her and say that she did not look old because people said that she looked 40 and 50 years old. And I was like, it's not giving 50 years old because that's not how a 50-year-old looks. But I do admit that she did look older than her age. And that's because of all this early cosmetic work that she has gotten done. I don't know the exact age when she first started getting work done to her face, but I believe it's around 16 or 17. And that's very, very young to be touching your face and messing with your body. So I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't believe in touching your face before a certain age, and I certainly do not believe in preventative Botox. Like, girl, y'all trying to get my money. Give me some Botox when I'm 60. And even at that age, I don't even know if I want to like Botox. I don't like needles. But I'm just saying, like, at least wait. Give yourself some time to get the wrinkles. But also, I do want to mention this, and I wanted to mention this in my video that I made about aging previously. I have to realize my privilege in all of this because I don't have wrinkles, and it is very possible for people my age to start developing wrinkles. My age is a mystery though, because I like being mysterious. But I have a friend and she's younger than me, and she has talked about wanting Botox because she has very deep smile lines. What do they call it? I think it's called smile lines, but yeah. So she has very deep smile lines, and things like that are genetic. So she has talked about wanting to get Botox to fix her smile lines. And that also made me realize, like, okay, I guess I am speaking from a place of privilege because I don't have any wrinkles to say, don't give me Botox. So in certain cases, okay, yeah, I think it's fine. But for the most part, if you really don't need it, don't get it. If you don't have wrinkles, if you don't have very deep smile lines, like, don't do it. And even if you do have it, I still would suggest no. I'm trying to tell my friend not to get it. Obviously, it's your choice, but if you really don't need it, don't get it. In 2015, at the young age of 17, Kylie Jenner got a real taste of what it's like to actually run a business when she launched Kylie Cosmetics with her mother. This brand was extremely successful, bringing in $400 million within the first 18 months of the brand launching. $400 million. And y'all say looks don't matter. One of the most popular items from Kylie Cosmetics was the lip kit. And conveniently in 2015, Kylie Jenner popped out with noticeably larger lips. And when she had those larger lips, she started selling her lip kit, insinuating that she used her lip kit to make her lips appear fuller and bigger, which is not possible. If you have very, very small lips, you can overline it, but it's not gonna automatically look like hers. You get me? Like, you have to naturally actually have big lips to get that full look. Lip liner can only do so much, and if you overline it too much, it can also look very fake. So I don't know who she thought she was fooling, but actually no, I do know who she was fooling. She was fooling all the girls my age, because all of them are buying them lip kits. They thought they looked cute, but it wasn't giving, because Kylie had lip fillers the whole time. And her marketing tactic was successful because Kylie Cosmetics was selling out quick every year for the first couple of years. And I saw the lip kit all over social media, and Kylie really had us young girls in a chokehold because her influence was so strong on beauty and fashion. Even my dumbass fell for it because I really, really wanted to try Kylie Cosmetics when it first came out. I was like, please let me get it. But my parents said no because they did not like makeup, and I couldn't even get it myself because I had no money. So I just had to, you know, survive without Kylie Cosmetics. And I survived though, and I'm really happy that I never got it because her products seem aight. I've never tried it though, but I'm not interested in trying it anymore. There's a lot of great options out there, and it's just not giving what it's supposed to give. And when Kylie finally admitted to getting cosmetic fillers, the request for fillers increased by 70%. 70. Like, that's crazy. And that's not all. In February of 2018, she made a tweet on Twitter, and she talked about how she's not interested in using Snapchat anymore. And that single tweet wiped 1.3 billion off of the company's market value. So she clearly had a really strong influence on what people were doing. And that just made me think, like, so if Kylie Jenner tells you to jump off a cliff, you're gonna jump off a cliff? Like, what? What do you mean? But I mean, I'm not really a fan of Snapchat anyways. I like it for the memories, and that's it. But definitely since then, Snapchat has not been the same, but they are slowly trying to rebuild their brand. So anyways, if you didn't take away anything from this section, take away this. Y'all gave Kylie too much power, period. Part 2. The perpetual obsession with the Kardashians. The Kardashian-Jenner clan's rise to fame wasn't just about their reality show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It was about their ability to captivate the public's imagination and set trends. Each sister brought something unique to the table. Kim's early fame, business acumen, and sex tape, Kourtney's lifestyle brand, Khloe's body positivity, Kendall's modeling career, and of course, Kylie's beauty empire. These ladies had us hooked for a good decade. Their influence is still there, but I would argue that it is not as prominent as it once was. In this part, I will mostly focus on Kylie and Kim because their paths are quite similar and explore the magnitude of the chokehold they had us in. We will see how the beauty standards they set are no longer even attainable for them. From their luxurious lifestyles to their dramatic personal lives, the Kardashians provided a form of entertainment and escapism that many found irresistible. Their ability to turn everyday average moments in their life to must-watch TV and viral content kept audiences hooked, and that's why they're still relevant to this day. There are thousands of memes out there of the Kardashians. One of the most popular ones is Kim crying. I still use that meme to this day. So they have done a very good job at just staying relevant and trendy. Their influence extended beyond just their show too. Every Instagram post, tweet, and public appearance was meticulously crafted to maintain their image and influence. When we talk about the Kardashians, Kim and Kylie often come to mind first. Their journeys are a testament to how they, more than anyone else, shaped beauty and fashion trends globally. Kim's ability to leverage her notoriety as Paris Hilton's best friend and assistant, and also to use her infamous sex tape, proved that she was a force to be reckoned with. I'm not praising how she was able to build a billion-dollar empire, but we have to acknowledge that she knew what people wanted to see and what made people pay attention to her, and did that. And it worked, because look at where she is now. Look at where she's at right now and her family. They're rich, they're famous, and they're very, very successful. From her reality show success to her shapewear line named Skims, which sold out within minutes, Kim proved that she was a true businesswoman. Her ability to turn controversy into opportunity has kept her in the spotlight and set a new standard for personal branding. Skims is not Kim's only brand, but if I were to go through all of her business endeavors, this would be a very, very long video. She has done a lot. That's why she got her money. So we're not going to go through all of them, but I will say that Skims is very, very successful. Dare I say the most successful business endeavor she has ever done. But it's not only Kim's business endeavors which have made her super, super popular. It's her appearance. The Kardashians took full advantage of looking exotic and made Kim's butt a focus of her brand, because God forbid a white woman has a big booty. That deserves news coverage, apparently. Keeping up with the Kardashians was never scripted, but I just find that hard to believe, because in the very first episode, Kim's family is making fun of her for having a big butt. Do you think that's a coincidence? Let me show you the clip.
I am starving.
Don't you have a photo shoot tomorrow? Stop eating.
I think she has a little junk in the trunk. She's got the jiggles.
One, she's always had an ass. Where did this come from?
I believe that part was scripted in the show to make the viewers subconsciously generate curiosity and interest in Kim's body, particularly her booty. And it worked. Y'all were so obsessed that it was a reoccurring theme in the show, and it contributed to her interest as a person. And this fascination reached an all-time peak back in 2014 when she had her controversial photo shoot with Paper magazine. I doubt I can show the actual picture, but if you search it up, you can find it yourself. But basically, Kim was naked and she was in a garbage bag, and she was holding up the garbage bag while her back was to the camera, so she was looking back at the camera like that, and the garbage bag was held right underneath her booty, so we saw her back and we saw her butt. So her big booty has been the focus for a decade now, but I will say that her tiny waist is now the new focus. Especially at the Met Gala, there was a lot of reactions to her costume because that corset looked very tight and her waist was nowhere to be found. But even though she faced some backlash for wearing that very tiny corset that looked like she could not breathe, it was still good publicity for her because she's literally selling a shapewear line. So I'm sure that made people interested in purchasing Skims after seeing how Kim was able to look so snatched at the Met Gala. Let's go back to Kylie for a second. She has had quite a bit of enhancements done herself at a very young age, might I add. And I can't even imagine how that would affect your self-perception, getting work done at such an early age, already changing how you look before you even hit the age 20. That must your perception of beauty and just how you look. However, cosmetic surgery was already normalized in her family because all of her sisters already had it, and she was also in the spotlight too. So getting cosmetic work done was already seen as normal to her. So I do understand her getting these work done because everyone around her had it. So I do understand that, but I do not support it at a young age. Kim and Kylie's beauty standards became the blueprint for many. The contouring, the hourglass figure, the plump lips. These became the ideals that countless people tried to achieve. Social media amplified their influence, with every post and selfie setting new trends. They didn't just sell products, they sold a lifestyle that seemed both glamorous and attainable. Kim and Kylie's career also shared another commonality: their relationships with popular Black men. These relationships further elevated their status and visibility. Kim was with Kanye and Kylie was with Tyga and Travis Scott. And this worked because for some reason we are so interested in interracial relationships. I feel like that interest is dying down though, but during like the 2010s when the Kardashians were really poppin', we just love to see interracial couples. And it's like low-key given fetish and it's low-key given weird. And there's even to this day some family channels or just couples accounts that make their whole page based on the fact that they are an interracial couple or the fact that they have mixed kids. There's this one family I actually saw, I don't remember their Instagram though, but they always would post their children. They had mixed children and they made their page all about the fact that they had mixed children with blue eyes. Like I'm like, it's giving weird. Like it's just giving weird. And the title of these videos would always be something like, my Black girlfriend feeds me foo-foo for the first time, or my white boyfriend takes out my box braids, #disaster. It was just something else. I won't lie, I used to watch it though, but I think we've chilled though, like we're not as obsessed with interracial couples, but let me know if you think otherwise. Both sisters have also enhanced their curves through cosmetic procedures, and they have definitely done way more procedures, but I do not know all of them, and I doubt they're gonna tell us every single procedure that they've done because it's probably a lot. And they use these features that they bought to brand themselves as beautiful, desirable, and exotic because for some reason y'all are obsessed with mixed, biracial, exotic looking people. And when I say exotic, I just mean looking not white, but not Black, or not like just being ambiguous. The fascination with the Kardashians' bodies ties into a broader cultural issue where curves on wealthy, racially ambiguous white women are celebrated, while similar traits on Black women are stigmatized. And this also reminds me of the fox eye trend too. Now everyone wants fox eyes to look like a siren, but Asian people, East Asian to be specific, they already naturally have it, and y'all were making fun of them for having it, and now y'all are like, oh my god, this is like the new latest trend. It's like they go around the world and see which ethnic features they want to take and put on themselves to make themselves look exotic. And this is not only the Kardashians. Many people have done this. Like a lot of Instagram people, a lot of social media people, they have done this. The term blackfishing emerged on social media in 2018, and it feels like it's been here way longer, but I guess it was 2018. So this term describes white individuals altering their appearance to look Black, a phenomenon that the Kardashians have been accused of popularizing. Journalist Wanna Thompson, who coined the term, noted the sisters' role in making Black styles more palatable to a mainstream audience. It's like y'all want to see Black features, but not on a Black person. You get what I'm saying? This phenomenon underscores the paradox of white women benefiting from Black aesthetics without facing the same historical objectification and hypersexualization that Black women face. But this is nothing new. If you have been observing them for a hot minute now, you have definitely picked up on this. And if you haven't, well, now you know. The more you know. Our obsession with butts in the first place is an issue. Like, y'all need to chill. But the tea now is that big butts are not as popular as they once were. In fact, people are reducing their booty sizes and they are opting for a more slimmer look. But we're gonna talk about that. As time passes, the public's fascination with the Kardashians seems to be waning. With the rise of new influencers and changing social media dynamics, the Kardashian grip on pop culture isn't as tight as it once was. People are becoming more critical and aware of the constructed nature of their personas. The constant drama and extravagant displays of wealth that once intrigued people are now often met with skepticism and critique. And I feel like the public's perception of the Kardashians started to take a toll during the pandemic, because it was really frustrating to see celebrities who did not need to be that rich and had that much money just flaunt their money in front of us and just show like there's big parties, going on yachts, traveling, when a lot of people had to try to social distance. It was hard. If you did not have money during the pandemic, it was a very, very hard time. So to see people who have too much money and too much power just flaunted around was just so aggravating and irritating. And the Kardashians held a lot of parties during the pandemic. Like, they really did not give a shit. And also the fact that many people, including the Kardashians, got richer during the pandemic while the poor got poorer. People were not in, like, they did not have your time. And even me, like, I was just annoyed with them too. I never followed them in the first place. Like, I used to follow Chloe, but after that I was just like, no, why don't the rules apply to you just because you have money? Like, girl, bye. Anywho, the easy access to cosmetic surgery now is also a contributing factor as to why the Kardashians and Jenners are not really popping as they used to be. Getting lip filler, face filler, booty filler, BBLs, it's not exclusive to just people who are rich and famous like it used to be. Now, your average nurse could have a BBL. I will say though that there is still some exclusivity surrounding cosmetic procedures because of the price. Not everyone can afford it, of course, but way more people now can afford it. I believe some clinics or hospitals offer payment plans so you can pay every month for your BBL. It's more accessible, but still it is expensive. But I would say more people can get their booties done, their boobs done, their face done. Now, it's not only the Kardashians, so they're not really special or mysterious anymore because, girl, if I wanted to, I can go book an appointment for a BBL right now. I won't though. I won't, but I could. I would say the decline for BBL started in 2022 when people noticed that Kim and Khloe had smaller booties. They never confirmed having BBLs or getting it reversed, but we're not blind, we can see. Like, y'all trying to say you don't have a BBL, girl, we can see. If the booty and the leg is not proportionate. Also, as I mentioned earlier, people are popping out with more slimmer figures, and now it seems that being slimmer and having a smaller booty is the new trend. We've seen it in the Kardashians, Meg Thee Stallion, Beyonce, and recently Ice Spice. And this is why I will never get work done for a trend, because if you just keep getting work done to fit a trend, you're just gonna keep working on your body forever because trends come and go. And that's just too much strain on your mental health and also your body. Getting these surgeries is no joke, and then the recovery for them too. So you want to keep putting your body through that just to fit into the beauty standard? That does not sound smart. So now reducing your BBL or getting a skinny BBL is the new T, is the new trend. Everyone wants a small plump booty. So we are still promoting plastic surgery, but this time we want it to look more natural. In fact, the American rapper and she's on social media. I think she's a rapper or social media influencer or both. I don't know. But her name is Dream Doll, and she actually talked about wanting to go back to her natural body because that is what's in. Slim is in. So let's see what she had to say.
I went and got surgery, and I'm like want to transition back to my natural body. Like,
oh, what now?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's going out of fashion?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So how will you go back then?
Well, I did a butt reduction.
Oh,
So
how'd you do that?
Lipo, just lipo in your butt.
What, they just take it all out?
They just lipo it. Natural bodies are more in slim, more slim, thick. I feel like that is like what's in right now.
Shout out to my cousin for posting this on her story because I saw it and I was like, ooh, like that's tea. And if you have this mindset, you are gonna be unsatisfied forever. Because let's say you get a BBL because it's trending and then it stops trending, so then you reduce it, but then it starts trending again. So what are you gonna do? Get another BBL? Like, you're just putting yourself through unnecessary surgeries, and it's gonna take a toll on your mental health and your body, and all that recovery is a lot. Like the anesthesia, all that, like doctors just cutting you up every 2.5 seconds. Is that what you want? Our bodies are not meant to be altered like that. So if you have this mindset, I strongly encourage you to work on it because you're never going to be satisfied ever. But back to Miss Kylie Jenner. So she has been the it girl for a very, very long time, but I would have to say now that she has lost that status. She has always been criticized for her looks, but during the Paris fashion show, she was criticized to a higher extent, I would say. And in the clip that I showed you guys earlier at the start of the video, I showed you Kylie crying because she was upset with the comments that people were saying about her. And a lot of people did not feel bad for her. The biggest critique I saw was that, Kylie Jenner, you yourself have pushed these unrealistic beauty standards down our throats and made money off of it and made a whole brand off of it. Why should we feel bad for you when you wouldn't care about us? You didn't care about all the millions of girls you made insecure for pushing these toxic beauty standards down our throats. So they're just saying, girl, don't cry for your own doing. You pushed these standards, you promoted them, stand by it. And here's the thing, if you make money based on how you look and capitalize capitalize off of the insecurities of millions of women around the world, then it's fair and expected to have people criticize your look. It is your brand after all. It's what you promote. Since I make YouTube videos and I put myself out there, I do expect to get criticized for my videos, the editing, how the background looks. Girl, I don't know how I look. I expect that. So I don't feel bad for Kylie because this is what comes with it. What you make your brand is gonna get criticized because that's what you're pushing. So it is fair to get criticized for that. But I won't lie, every time I watch the video of her crying, I feel bad, but then I'm like, NK, stand up. Like, this girl has exploited Black features and the culture as a whole to get money. Like, girl, stand up. So yeah, now moving forward to 2024, people are not as fascinated by the Kardashians as they used to be. Like, don't get me wrong, they still have power, they still have a lot of influence, they have their money, they have their fans, they still get really great engagement. I was looking at Kylie Jenner's Instagram and she was getting like millions of likes. So they're still very popular and they got money. Like, they're still gonna be good. But what happens when you're no longer the it girl? When you're no longer the beauty standard? How do you move forward when people don't find you as attractive as they once did? Or how do you move forward when you made your whole brand about looking attractive and now people don't find you attractive? How do you do that? Let's find out in the next section. Part 3. Now the beauty standard has changed. What do you do? How would it feel to have your entire identity and brand centered around your appearance, only to find out that you're no longer considered the beauty standard? This section applies not only to Kylie, but also to many people who have created identities surrounding their attractiveness. This phenomenon is prevalent on TikTok, but happens on Instagram too. Whether they have used their beauty to sell products or simply made it a key part of their personality, realizing that they are no longer the beauty standard likely comes with negative consequences. So let's talk about what it means to no longer be considered the standard of beauty when you have been it for so long. The impact will be profound. It will affect your self-esteem, mental health, and even one's livelihood if their income depends on their looks. Obviously, this does not pertain to the Kardashians because they are extremely wealthy, but maybe for someone who has not as much money as them. This realization of not being considered the it girl or not being considered attractive anymore can lead to various coping mechanisms, such as seeking new beauty treatments to try to reclaim their former status, ignoring the new standards altogether, or withdrawing from social life due to pressure. Over on Instagram, I asked you guys a couple of questions, so let's see what you had to say about this topic first, because we had quite an interesting discussion over there. I purposely did not mention Kylie or Kim in any of the questions because I did not want you guys to only think about them, because this critique can be applied to many other people. So let's see what you guys had to say. First question was, do you think you meet the current beauty standards? Not to my surprise, the top answer was not. Even though I was stalking some of y'all pages and I was like, y'all are actually cute and pretty, like what? But honestly, I understand too, because I would have said no as well. Just because you don't want to seem cocky, or honestly, you just don't think you fit it because society keeps telling you you're ugly, like just for different reasons too. So I know I'm cute, period, but I wouldn't say that I meet the beauty standards either. It's really interesting to see how beauty standards are so pervasive that even objectively attractive people doubt themselves. This just goes to show you how powerful societal influences are in shaping our self-perception. And it's just a reminder that beauty standards are unrealistic and ever-changing, making it impossible for anyone to measure up to them every single time. This is why it's so important to develop self-confidence that is not reliant on external validation. This is something I will forever preach. So the next question I asked was there a point in time where you felt you did fit into the beauty standard? Okay, so most of you said never did, but quite a few of you did say yes, at one point I did. Then some people said maybe. I mean, it's also important to note that beauty standards are not only subjective but temporary. They evolve with time and societal changes, which means our feelings of fitting in or not shift over time. I've never experienced this, but I do strongly feel like it would be a hit to your ego to go from being praised for your looks 24/7 to being out in public and people not even giving you a second glance. We often tie our identity and confidence to external approval, and when that changes, it's a tough adjustment. If you have experienced this, please share how it has affected you in the comments below. I would love to read it. I've talked about this before, but this might be your first time seeing me, so hey, what's up? Thanks for being here, period. Growing up, I was quite ugly. I had acne. I was a little bit chunky. I didn't know how to do my hair, my makeup, dress, nothing. I didn't know how to do any of that, so I wasn't a cute girl. I was not even close to the beauty standard at all, but I knew that and I was okay with that. So that's why I focused on honing in on my other skills to make myself valuable, not valuable, but just make myself, what's the word? Basically, I just gave myself skills so I just didn't have to rely on my looks to get me places. But when I lost weight and put more effort into my appearance, life did change. I won't even lie about that. But not significantly, because my looks wasn't my whole identity anyways, because as I said, I was quite ugly, so I didn't have to do that. I couldn't do that because I was ugly. So I wasn't able to make my looks my whole personality. But once I had my little glow up, I started getting more male attention and I got access to more opportunities. So I was like, oh, like this is how y'all pretty people be living. This makes a lot of sense. And when I say opportunities, I mean like free drinks, access to VIP events or VIP sections, and even career opportunities as well. I actually got my first job because the manager's nephew thought I was attractive, so things like that. That's why I will forever say that there are more pros than cons to benefiting from pretty privilege. Yes, there are cons, but I think it depends on your life and your situations. But overall, there is more pros to it. So I do understand why people do want to be perceived as being attractive because they want all the benefits that come with it. However, you do not have to keep going under the knife to be attractive. Trust me, these beauty trends are doing too much. Just take care of yourself, know how to do your hair, get your hair done, your nails, just learn how to do a little bit of makeup. Like, you don't have to be going under the knife to be considered attractive. And also work out, like just take care of yourself and you will look good. I don't want to get too off topic though, but I just want you guys to know that I do understand going from ugly to not ugly, but I don't necessarily understand going from pretty to ugly, or not ugly, but let's say not reaching the beauty standard. So my follow-up question was, how might someone adapt when they are no longer the beauty standard? So y'all were really divided on this one. 27% said seek new treatments, 36% said ignore the new standards, 10% said withdraw from social life, 26% said not place importance on looks anymore. It's interesting to see such a range of emotions. Seeking new treatments shows a desire to keep up with evolving standards, while ignoring them suggests a stronger sense of self or maybe fatigue with the constant changes. I can't imagine how much people are spending to maintain their bodies or get their bodies in the first place. One thing I really want to know is how much Cardi B has spent, because she looks very different from when she first entered the game, I think in 2017, to now. And she also had 2 kids. Yeah, 2 kids. So she's definitely done her mommy makeover after having her 2 children. So that would have been twice. And I think she's pregnant right now too. So another mommy makeover coming up. But she spent a lot of money and she does look very different. But she does have the money to spend, so she's okay. But going under the knife that often can't be safe. I don't think that's safe enough. And it's not even good for your soul, your mental health. Like, not everyday surgery, rest. Not placing importance on looks anymore is the healthiest approach out of all of them, as this signifies a shift in valuing other aspects of your identity. This is more fulfilling because your looks don't last forever, but your soul, your personality, who you are does. I know that sounds cheesy, but it does. So girl, nurture that. Don't be a nurture it. Okay, and the last question fits into our conversation with Kylie and Kim, and it goes like this. How might someone use their platform after no longer being considered the beauty standard when they've made it their brand? So 39% said advocate for inclusivity and diversity. 28% said push back against new beauty ideals. 27% said change branding. And 6% said withdraw from being in the spotlight. It's interesting to see that the majority of you were leading towards advocacy and using your platform for promoting diversity and inclusivity. However, an interesting point was brought up by Carmela. I hope I'm saying your name right, but she brought up an interesting point that was in the back of my head, so I'm just gonna read it. I would say advocate for inclusivity and push back beauty ideals, but wouldn't it be contradictory, almost selfish, out of touch? I mean, making beauty your brand and content and then seeking inclusivity would get a person a lot of backlash, in my opinion. If someone was to do what Carmela just said, let's say that their whole brand was beauty, and then when they're no longer the standard, they decide to start promoting inclusivity. If they got backlash for doing that, it would be warranted, 100%. I would be criticizing them too. Promoting diversity and inclusivity only when you're not considered the beauty standard anymore is disingenuous. You're not doing it because you actually believe it. It's because the beauty standards are not working in your favor anymore. So now you're trying to change your brand so you can keep making money and I guess stay afloat and be praised for being such a good person, when in reality, if the beauty standards changed and they favored you again, I'm sure you would capitalize off of that. So if someone did that, I would definitely side-eye them and be like, girl, don't change now. Like, girl, do not change now. Like, stand on business. The second most popular answer was to push back against new beauty ideals. This could mean using their influence to challenge what the current standards are and change the narrative around what is considered beautiful. Let's say someone got a big BBL back in 2018 or 16 or whatever. When it was popping, they got a BBL. They're the trend. Everyone's like, oh my God, you're so cool. But now the skinny BBL is the new T. So instead of them conforming to that, they're gonna be like, no, big butts are still in and we're here to stay. I would actually respect that more because at least you're standing on business. You got your BBL, you like it, and you're standing on business. I respect that more than turning around and trying to talk about inclusivity when you have never been inclusive one day in your life. So thank you to everyone who participated and answered these questions. It's really interesting to get your feedback on these topics because it opens my mind too, because I mean, it's just me doing these videos, right? So I don't always have someone to talk about these topics with, so it's really fun to talk about these topics with you. So if you want to participate in future polls, you know where to be, NK's World on Instagram. Period. But the idea of promoting inclusivity when the beauty standard no longer benefits you is selfish, and it is something that I wonder if the Kardashians will eventually do. Khloe somewhat does this because she has marketed herself as the overweight sister who had to work extremely hard to lose weight and get a good body. But girl, we know you got work done. I don't know why you lied. Very obvious. She has a whole brand that is meant to promote body positivity and inclusivity when she and her whole family have not done that since they've been on our screen. Her actions and messages seem contradictory, and it's difficult to take her claims at face value given the family's history and influence on beauty standards. I don't know how many or which cosmetic procedures Khloe has got done, but she clearly has got a lot of stuff done. So it's kind of interesting that you're screaming inclusivity and all these type of stuff when you're still promoting toxic beauty standards, but trying to mask it as a way of inclusivity or you being raw, open, and vulnerable. And she's always talking about fitness and nutrition and working out and all that, but she's not talking about the surgeries that she did in the first place to help her get the body that she has right now. And do you guys remember when that unedited photo of Khloe was posted? She was in a bikini and she was unedited, and her family scrambled to get that picture taken down off the internet because they did not want an unedited photo of Khloe to be on the internet. If you really stood by that, why were you so quick to get that photo taken down? It doesn't sound like you actually care about inclusivity or body positivity. Nothing about Khloe screams body positivity, yet that's her brand and she is trying so hard to convince us that. When I was younger though, I did believe her. I thought she was really cool and I thought she was the most genuine and authentic one out of all of her sisters. But as I got older, I realized that that's not the case and she is just like her sisters. I will say though that Kim and Kylie are still the beauty standard, as they do change their bodies frequently to fit the current standards. I mean, Kim reduced the size of her booty and Kylie also reduced her lip filler recently, and Khloe reduced her booty too. So who knows what else they have done, but these are just some to name a few. When the Kardashian clan was popping off, they knew that it was going to be beneficial to utilize certain black features to make themselves look exotic and desirable, and it freaking worked. But now they no longer need this. They no longer have to look exotic or look half black or whatever to be considered desirable because that trend is slowly slipping away. I talked about this in my New Year, New Race video, how I said that the 2010s was the year of black fishing and having a big booty, but now the 2020s we're moving away from that. And that's what they're doing. They're moving away from it too. So they don't need exaggerated features to stay relevant now. They just need more natural looking surgery instead of looking like a cartoon. I will say though that Kim Kardashian is very pretty. She was even very pretty before she got all those surgeries. I thought she was beautiful, but she still is pretty today, at least from what I see on Instagram. Although those pictures are very edited, of course, but she does look pretty, so you know, good for her. But I just can't get behind the fact that her and her family exploited black culture and exploited different cultures too at that to be in the position that they are today. It's just disrespectful, and girl, I'm not with it. As for Kylie, even though she was upset with the comments that people said about her, I don't feel bad for her. Yes, what people said about her was nasty, but you know what's also nasty? The beauty standards that you have promoted. Plus, everything on that damn show feels scripted. Like, it's somewhat funny, but it just also feels scripted. Some part of me in the back of my head was like, is this girl actually sad, or is she just acting sad to get sympathy, or is is it just PR? You know what I mean? Like, I just can't believe them. You know what I mean? So some part of me does feel like she's not bothered by it at all, but she was just crying to get sympathy or just to garner some attention. So I want to ask you a question. Would you say that Kylie Jenner is still considered the beauty standard? She is also very pretty too, but she's not considered the it girl anymore. I don't see people as obsessed with her as they used to. As I said before, cosmetic procedures are very accessible now, and dating a black man as a white woman is nothing special, like we've seen it multiple times, and we just know that they're full of cap. So girl, like, we just know, you know what I mean? So in Kylie's case, this is what happens when you're no longer considered the beauty standard. You change yourself until you become the standard, or cry on camera to get public sympathy. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you, period. I am so interested to hear your thoughts on what you have to say about this topic. And yeah, girl, let's just get into it. Let me know in the comments down below, and I'm gonna see you next week or in 2 weeks. Period. Deuces. Bye.